This is the new 2021 Highfield Sport 460, the big brother to the Sport 420. It has 9 passenger capacity and offers just a bit more space than the 420. But it still offers all of the same features we find on the rest of the Sport lineup. Luxury features such as premium double diamond stitched upholstery and soft EVA foam decking are common to all models. Check out this bow step. Not only does it have a low, smooth profile for easy reboarding from the beach, but notice the cleats fold flat and the nav lights are flush mounted, so there's nothing to trip over. Now this 460 has the same 19-inch tubes as its little brother the 420, and it has a fuel tank below deck, which means forward, unlike the 390, you actually have storage under the bow seat. Now, fuel tank below deck also provides plenty of capacity, but it distributes the fuel load over the entire boat. And that's pretty important in a boat at least 15 feet long. It provides much better balance. So we're going to be curious to get out on the water and see how this thing handles. The bow cushion doesn't provide the only storage. Obviously, with a console like this, you're going to have a little bit of storage. Now, mind you, it does share its space with the battery and the controls. But notice it's held up on 2 gas struts. You don't have to hold it up while you're working underneath. And with direct access under the console, it's going to be easy to add electronics down the road. Now, one of the really nice things when you get up into a 420 and a 460 is just how much deck space there is. There's an easy walk through to the helm and a little bit more beam in this broad helm seat. Now, the console here is actually shared between the 390, the 420, and the 460. So the pass-through between the 420 and the 460, it's definitely bigger on the 460. But it is big enough to mount a 7-inch chart plotter, which is really nice when you look at how they can spread the gauges away from the chart plotter. So if you don't want to read your fuel capacity from the chart, you want to read it right off the analog gauge right away, it's nice and visible. These sport models are fully featured and come with push-button LED switches at the helm, along with 12-volt accessory power and LED courtesy lighting as standard equipment. Now, the forward 2 compartments aren't the only storage on the boat. There is an enormous storage compartment underneath the helm seat, which is also held up on a gas strut, so you're not having to hold it up. And because this storage is above deck and the deck has floor drains, it is dry in there. Now, you'll notice a powder-coated arch on this boat, and it is an option, but it's one that I really like. For one, it's got an elevated cleat, and 2, it's got a fixed position for the 360 all-around navigation light, so you're not digging it out from under the helm seat. Now, if you don't choose the arch, you can get an optional ski pole for towing, but this also has an elevated tow point. Of course, Highfield only uses marine-grade aluminum in their hulls. But did you know they are chromated before powder coating for additional corrosion resistance? Even so, each sport model gets a protective keel guard to help prevent scratches, allowing you to beach this boat with confidence. And check out the extra large tow points that are welded to the hull, with inserts to protect the aluminum from rigid tow hooks. They even take the time to weld on a drain plug holder and external transducer mounts, so you don't have to drill any holes through the hull when adding electronics. Well, the first thing I notice when I get in this boat is how roomy it is. And you don't really get a good feel for that on the dock until you're driving it. There's plenty of room for your feet at the console, and it just feels open and spacious. The second thing you notice right away is the 70. I mean, this boat flies. You just went for a quick rip and managed to get almost right around 42 miles an hour out of it. And for a 70, that's pretty impressive. Now, these Yamahas are coming with a 4-blade prop, and even the hole shot's pretty good. It's a fairly new motor from Yamaha. It's light, but it's super responsive. Like, I can't believe we're getting very close to 42 miles an hour with the 70 on the back. In fact, I don't think I'd add any more engine. I don't think you're going to go much faster. We get a tiny bit of porpoising on top when we trim the motor right out, but it does get the boat out of the water and get us to 42. So I think if you added a fin, you'd probably get rid of that. But overall, extremely stable boat and so much room. And then there's the hull. You know, these Ocean Master hulls are just fantastic, and every year they keep getting just a little bit better. This one feels more refined than the one I drove a couple of years ago. Maybe it's because the boat's brand spanking new, but there's just not a lot of resonance coming up. This is a very quiet boat. We found a protected bay for filming, but you can still see this hull in action. Just look at how it slices through the water. This is one smooth, comfortable ride. And these big 19-inch tubes keep you plenty high and dry. And of course, the rub strake that wraps all the way around the boat, even around the back of the tubes. So if you back up to something, you're a little bit protected. But they also act as spray guards. They're keeping the spray really, really low. So even if you decide to trim the motor down, get the boat back in the water where there's some spray forward, you're not getting wet at all. And then there's the handling. Thinking about water sports? No problem making a quick U-turn to pick up a fallen skier. This boat is hooked up. Inflatables aren't supposed to turn this good. Now, this boat is really meant for some serious exploring. You can put 9 people in it. Wonder where we could take it. I think I'm going to Virgin Islands. Full tank of fuel. See you later.